Hey guys, I'm your host, Unsheathed Nenke.
And I'm his wife, Hidden Kitten.
Welcome to the dojo, and let's cut into some talk about reversal edge. So, doing a little bit of research, going back through some of my footage, which I am not happy with because I'm not perfect, not even close. Going back, looking at some footage, and perusing through the forums, I have noticed a lot of talk about reversal edge, and it's basically kind of a hate or take it or leave it type of scenario because it is definitely something implemented for newer players, and the devs have even said as such. So I wanted to get someone who is a newer player, my wife, and kind of get her take on it. So, my dear, what do you think of reversal edge?
When I first experienced it, I would say I was really confused. I didn't know what was going on. That probably has a lot to do with the no training in the beta. So I don't know any of the old buttons or any of the new ones for that matter.
Well, that's not a problem. I can kind of explain it a little bit to you, and maybe if this helps out even one other person, then I will consider this a success. But, so reversal edge, when it lands, it takes you into that little cinematic.
Yeah, and it's like a rock, paper, scissors effect.
That is correct. So, B beats A beats K beats B, and then there are various sidestep options like forward beats A, sidestep beats B and K. So there's a lot. There's a lot.
So sidestep sounds like a pretty good option, actually.
It can be.
It seems like it can counter a large majority of the
It does.
potential buttons.
It does. Certain characters, like Nightmare, his K, I believe, beats sidestep. So the thing that I do like about reversal edge is even though it is enacted more for a newer player's benefit, there is quite a bit of depth there to be had. So certain characters are going to want to use more options as opposed to others, because certain characters, they may get a good combo setup or good follow-up from a particular move, so they will be more inclined toward using said move. One of the things I don't like about it, and I don't know if you noticed this, but when you land a reversal edge, you get a lot of meter toward your super or soul charge. That's something that I would like to see either scaled back a bit, or it would be nice to see other moves gain meter a little more quickly so that you don't feel kind of ham-fisted into wanting to utilize reversal edge if you want to build meter.
Yeah, I can see how that might get irritating to constantly be thrown in this RNG situation where, hopefully you press the right button and get some meter charge, but it just I don't like that because I feel like it takes away from the skill of the more experienced players. Like you said, it's more geared towards helping lower level players like myself to just kind of like maybe get a free hit in here or there, gain a lot of extra meter, for less work and more luck. I don't know how I feel about that.
Now, for experienced players, they can still utilize the reversal edge over a newer player, so they can still benefit more from it. There's definitely nothing to take away from that. I would just, because if you're a newer player, or even like maybe you're starting to get some skill, like, yeah, I'm pretty decent, but I still want to build meter. In order to do that, if you want to have meter in the first round, you're going to need to use reversal edge. It's kind of just that simple. And I would prefer that you gain more meter for your attack, so you have more options. I'm a big fan of options. So it's not, oh, well, if I definitely want to have meter for this round, have the possibility of having meter for this round, I have to use reversal edge. I would rather that not be the case.
I don't like being forced into using it either. I hope it doesn't turn out like that, especially in online play. So that's one of my concerns. But speaking of meter, you had mentioned earlier to me that meter doesn't get drained by doing those counter moves anymore.
That is correct. Those counter moves are called guard impact. The notation that is used for them is GI, just short for guard impact. So yeah, if you do a parry, that's where your weapon will light up green.
Yeah.
that is a guard impact. Now, if you miss the parry, you can receive damage to your guard meter. So your guard meter will flash yellow. That's where your little health bar. There'll be a little light that'll flash yellow, and then eventually red. When it's flashing red, the opponent can hit you with a strong attack, break your guard, and be able to collect some free damage. So that is definitely something that I personally appreciate. So you can't just spam guard impacts. One more thing in regards to Reversal Edge, I do like how it's balanced. So it doesn't feel spammable. It's just something that the devs did take into account. So a newer player, if they're up against a stronger one, if they're just throwing those out there, they can easily be sidestepped. And there are certain attacks that are able to bypass the reversal edge. So I do appreciate that they took steps to kind of limit its power so it doesn't feel overpowered, at least in my opinion. It's more of an annoyance for me than it is a true detriment.
I feel like I'll be able to know a little bit more about it when the game actually does release here this coming up Friday. I'm very excited. Really, I just want to learn about it, and I really want to get into the training system with Soul Calibur 6, and I really want to spend time in the lab, as you call it. I wanted to go over some of the different moves. So we have Reversal Edge, you were talking about Guard Impact a little bit. There's finishing moves yet, and then also the fire moves versus the blue electric moves. You know, what's all the different moves going on here?
So the fire moves are what we call unblockables. If you see fire on something, that means that you cannot block it. You either have to step it or duck it if it's a high. You can't parry it, and you cannot reversal edge it. So if you see fire on a move, if you see an unblockable move come out, you don't want to try and parry it because you will lose.
Alright.
Those beat out parries and reversal edges, as well as the blue lightning moves that you mentioned, those are called guard break moves.
I remember actually with the unblockable moves from Soul Calibur 5, you used to tell me don't get caught looking at the pretty lights. So I thought that was funny.
That is very dangerous. Lights are dangerous. Step away from the lights. Guard break moves.
Do not be a moth.
Do not. I have learned that lesson back in, what was it, like Soul Calibur 1, and I quickly realized, no lights, lights bad. Speaking of lights, the blue lightning, that is the guard break, and that also defeats guard impact as well as reversal edge. Now, guard impact can defeat throws, mids, highs, and lows. Reversal edge defeats throws, mids, highs, but it loses to lows. So that's another way to break a reversal edge, is you can hit someone low and it will break that parry.
Is this before it goes into the little cinematic?
Correct. You have to get it before it goes into the little cinematic, so when they're holding their weapon and they have those ability to parry your attacks, you can actually hit their feet or hit them with an unblockable or a guard break, and you will be successful. I'm also pretty certain that you can actually, if your timing's good, now this might be difficult online, you can guard impact a reversal edge, and you can even reversal edge, I believe, if you time it correctly. I'm going to have to actually test that out when I get my hands on the game, but I'm pretty certain that that can be done.
Well, it sounds like there's some good choices there to counter the reversal edge at least. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be like completely spammable at no cost. It sounds like it could be at least punishable even if somebody just continues to try to spam the ability. So that's something I'm looking forward to testing and just seeing how it all plays out in the game, especially because it's a new feature. I mean, it sounds like we got lots of moves to work with.
It's something, it has what I like to call a low skill floor, but a higher skill ceiling. So once you understand a little bit more about it, you're able to manipulate it and utilize it a little bit better, and it doesn't become quite as worrisome. Your biggest problem with reversal edge is honestly probably going to be lag. That's probably going to be the biggest detriment that you have with it.
So I guess that tells me a little bit on reversal edge, a little bit more than I was anyway. I was kind of afraid of it because of that RNG portion. But like you said, there are counters to it and there are ways to work around it. Again, I'm just looking forward to trying it out and seeing how it works.
Definitely, once we get our hands on it, we'll come back to you guys, let you know our findings and how things are going. If you have anything that you guys would like us to test out, please leave a comment below to let us know what you want us to look for. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. As always, I've been your host, Unsheathed Nenke.
And this is Hidden Kitten.
Thank you for visiting the dojo. Until next time, guys.
Stay sharp.